So it is what you learn in school that you should make the plan complete. You should address various aspects of it as to what is the market you're going after, what is your product, what is like really unique about your product, what's the IP that you've got, who's in your team, what is your experience, how are you going to execute the plan, what are the operational metrics you're going to track. So I think all of those things are very important for a business plan. So everything that you've been told in your MBA classes are all true. You should have a full-fledged business plan that covers all aspects of how you're going to build this business, build it to scale, give a huge exit to your investors and all of that stuff. So all of that stuff is good. But there is something that is even more important about the business plan, which is what's the story that you're trying to tell? Because finally, you're talking to people who are just like you, and you need to engage with them in a way that they can start to like really connect with you and your story. So you have to go into the business plan presentation as if you're telling a story, and it's a story that you want to take the potential investors along with you and get them engaged in that story as to how you're going to build this product, build this business and grow it. So don't treat the business plan as a place with a lot of details about the product architecture, what tools you're using and what APIs you're using and why this tool is better than that tool. Don't get lost in that degree of detail. Don't get lost in terms of like a financial model where you're saying that it's actually 6.893% you're going to grow in the first year. Because those are all numbers, and those are all numbers that you can tweak on a spreadsheet, and people know that, you know what, that's just a financial model that can be tweaked and adjusted as you learn more about it. But the big picture item is the story. What is it that you want that investor to take away from you? Because he's going to pay attention for the first few minutes and then he's going to tune out. So in the first few minutes, you got to tell him a story that's going to stay in his mind as to why this is something that's exciting that he needs to get on board. So the danger with a high quality business plan that addresses everything is that it's a big plan, 20 slides, and there's a lot of detail, and you will be very tempted to show how much research you've done on the business plan. You'll be tempted to go down into too much detail. You'll be tempted to talk about the technology and the architecture and the financial model and all of your past experiences and how you came upon this new idea and all of that stuff. But the danger with all of that is that that detail might prevent you from actually telling the most important part of your presentation, which is your story. You've got to keep in mind this is a storytelling exercise more than a business plan presentation exercise. So when you look at what makes a startup exciting to fund, so one, we talked about having the connect between the investor and the founders. The other thing is the chemistry between the founders. There's nothing that can kill a startup faster than any discord between the founding team. Even the slightest amount of discord, and you find that all the money that you put into that company is going to go down the drain, because there's no way that a young company at that stage can survive any discord among the founders or even among the senior management team. So one of the factors I would look for is what is the chemistry between the senior team, between the founders, and that's a very, very important factor. So one is the chemistry between the investor and the founders. The second is the chemistry between the founders. And then I would look to see what makes this team uniquely qualified to execute that plan. So you could have a team that has all the right backgrounds and the right schools, the right experiences. They all went to certain schools, they all worked for Google or McKinsey and so on and so forth. But then again, you've got to ask yourself a question as to what makes the experiences of these founders unique to the plan that they want to execute. So I think that's another important factor that sort of is worth keeping in mind. And the other thing is, are the founders the types of people who take input, are flexible in their thinking or not? Because the plan that they might have worked out might seem ironclad, geared for success and so on and so forth, but finally when they start to execute, they will face a lot of challenges. They got to be the types of people that will take input from other seasoned executives. They will be able to make changes to their thinking, be flexible in their thinking so that they can say that, you know what, I was wrong. We should not take option A, we should take option B. And that kind of a flexible attitude is going to be totally critical for success in any new environment. So all of these factors would go into, is this startup fundable? So when I started out and I had to pitch for money, I didn't realize what a difficult thing it is to do. It is not the same as trying to pitch to customers, which is actually much easier, because to a customer, it is where they sort of know what you're there to do, and there are people who might be, for example, say that you had like a tech product, you're talking to like a CTO level person, VP engineering, they're also like fairly technical people, so they sort of understand what you're there to do and you're able to make that connection. But when you pitch for money, it's a very, very different game, because you're talking to people who may not be technologists, who are looking at you from a different lens. They're looking at you from the point of view of, is this person going to be able to build a business that's going to be successful and make me money? And he's not that focused on the product. So the first few times that I went to pitch for money, I made all of these standard mistakes, where I went in, I started with the product demo to showcase what a cool product we've built. Then we would focus on the architecture, how we built the product, why it was built using the latest tools. So all of these things that finally, it took me a long, long time to figure out that when you pitch for money, you need to focus on how you're going to make that person money. It's not about the product, it's not about all of those things. It is about how is this business going to return an investment to this person. So the big learning from there was that too much detail in meetings with the investor is not good, because that investor is actually coming from a different world. It is possible that that investor has a tech background, he might have started off himself as an entrepreneur, but keep in mind that over a period of time, the investor becomes an investor. He's looking at it from the point of view of, do I want to put money into this company and will I make money from this? And if so, how safe is my money with this person? So when you look at it from that lens, it's not so much the specifics of the product or the features or the functionality that you've built. It is more about what is it that you're trying to do and why is this going to be exciting to the investor. So it's back to this notion of storytelling. You've got to tell about your business in a way that your investor gets excited about it.